Hey, my name is Connor, and welcome to Crypto Empire, where we dominate the crypto markets. In this video, we'll be talking about Litentry, which is a project that is developing a platform to aggregate decentralized identifiers, or DIDs, across numerous different blockchains. And Litentry is built on substrate and is currently in the process of competing for a Polkadot Parachain Slot. So in this video, I'll be covering all things Litentry, from what the token does, how the protocol works, to the current Parachain auction happening as we speak. If that does interest you, be sure to stick with me until the very end. And if you are new to Crypto Empire, go ahead right now and smash that subscribe button down below and turn on all bell notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And let the gains be with you. To start out this video, let's take a look at the overall market cap before we get into Litentry. We can see we have a $2.79 trillion market cap, with Bitcoin trading at $59,650, Ethereum trading for $4,400. Now, the metaverse and NFT gaming projects continue to absolutely tear it up, as that's where a lot of attention currently is. And many people seem to have forgotten that the Polkadot Parachain auctions are happening as we speak. And one project which is competing for a Parachain slot is Litentry, of course. Litentry is currently trading for $4.35 at rank number 455 in market cap, currently with a $120 million market cap, about to be $121 million for its market cap. Litentry currently has a circulating supply of 27.7 million coins, with a total supply of 100 million Litentry coins. We can see that this project was actually launched on the Binance launch pool back in January and early February, and it does have an all-time high, according to CoinGecko, at $13.31, and that did happen back in February. So let's take a look right now at the tokenomics and how this is actually going to be distributed. And to do that, we can go to the Binance Research Labs, as they put together a very handy little document here for us. So we're going to be talking about what Litentry is, but first let's cover the tokenomics. We can see the token allocation. So 3% went to the Binance launch pool that occurred in late January and early February, and then 8% of the total supply goes to the seed sale that already happened. 11.89% went to the strategic sale, 15% goes to the team, 45% of the tokens, or 45 million, goes to the Parachain auction in the ecosystem, right? So that is a nice portion of the tokens going to people who contribute into the Parachain, and 17% goes to the foundation. So that is good. You can see the majority of the tokens here are going to the Parachain contributors. The team, the foundation, and the early investors do have a very nice chunk as well out of the 100 million. But nonetheless, this project is definitely rewarding its Parachain contributors a nice amount of the overall token supply. You can also see the vesting schedule here as well. I will leave this link down in the description below for you to check out yourself. And we can also look at parachains.info and see that according to this data, currently over 1 million DOT have been contributed, which equates to about 46 million US dollars. And at this moment in time, it's looking like 1 DOT will get you at least 2.5 lit tokens. So this may be one of the most profitable Parachain auctions out of the gate, because its token is already in circulation. It can't be dumped on, and a lot of the supply is actually going to Parachain contributors. So I personally did contribute some of my own Polkadot to this auction. I will leave the link for litentry.com for you to contribute yourself if you do want to do that. And one bonus thing is, if you contribute, you can see if you hit contribute now on the website, you do get a free Polkadot name service domain. So I was able to reserve, you can see, contribute 10 or more DOT to Litentry Crowdloan and get a free Polkadot domain name worth $25 for 1 year. Nice little bonus incentive, not really that big of a deal, but if you do want your name as a Polkadot domain, this is a great opportunity to do so. That's a little bit about the tokenomics and the current Parachain auction, because that is the most relevant thing happening right now about Litentry. If you want the most relevant cryptocurrency news and updates, be sure to subscribe to Crypto Empire right now. And now let's get into what Litentry actually is. So what is a DID, or decentralized identity? It is simply an assembled collection of identity data that is generated on decentralized applications with which users have the ultimate ownership and control of their ID. This data is decentralized in the sense that it is not collected by any centralized institution, and it is not stored on a centralized file storage system or managed/taken advantage of by any third party without the permission of the identity owner. All right, so this is very big actually. Think huge conglomerates like Facebook. They make their money, their revenue from advertisers who pay for people's data to sell ads to without necessarily the individual's consent. So this is completely changing the game. This is why I'm so bullish on Web3 projects. We can also read DID is only made possible by the advent of Web3, and as Web3 grows, we'll see the rapidly growing demand of decentralized identity applications for users to seamlessly navigate through different networks. So this is big because it will be cross-chain. We can read that the team has been working on the decentralized identity since 2018 and is working closely with the Parity team to become the standard in cross-chain identity. They did receive a grant from the Web3 Foundation in the early stage, and they got listed on Binance in early February 2021. So that's half the battle right there, getting listed on a tier 1 exchange, and Lit is already on Binance. So they have demonstrated background in the DID field and are actively building a wide range of products that provide identity solutions. The Litentry development team is currently based in Berlin with a deep understanding of the Polkadot and Ethereum ecosystems. So this is actually their grant page, because understand, Litentry is its own network, it's its own blockchain. If it does secure a parachain slot on the Polkadot relay chain, then it will simply be able to host more projects that want to build on the Litentry Parachain. So they have this startup program for teams to come on board and start building on the Litentry blockchain. So if you are a developer, check out their grant program, the DID startup program. Now moving on, let's take a closer look on the Litentry protocol itself by heading over to their website. So this is exactly what it sounds like. It's a decentralized identity. What may that be used for? Well, think in DeFi right now. A lot of DeFi is lending and borrowing. People put up their cryptocurrency. Maybe it's Ethereum, maybe it's Luna, maybe it's Solana. Regardless, they put up collateral so they can take out a loan. Right now in crypto, because we don't know who's taking out the loan, it requires over collateralization. You need to put up a lot of capital, and you can borrow a much less amount than the collateral that you do put up your capital. What decentralized identity will allow these protocols to do is to see who actually wants to borrow their money, and they'll see what kind of credit score they have, right? Within their protocol, they're developing a way for individual DeFi protocols to see if this person is worthy of borrowing X amount of money with this amount of collateral staked. So there can actually be under collateralization of loans and not over collateralization, which is very big. Another important use case of decentralized identity is the governance in blockchains, because a lot of times a blockchain will say that it's decentralized, but you don't know who the top holders of the tokens are. So yeah, it has voting rights and on-chain governance, but the top token holders can be a small group of individuals, because we have no way to tell who the big whales are in an ecosystem. But what decentralized identity will allow us to do is to tie some kind of identity to each individual wallet, so we can see if a small group of people are actually controlling the governance of a protocol of a blockchain. So there are a lot of different use cases for the decentralized identities. Mainly it does come down to DeFi and governance. So moving on, we can see that they are developing a mobile application, which will be coming soon. And then the Litentry runtime, this is very interesting. We can read right here, runtime. If we go to their docs, I will leave this link down in the description below. This project is very in-depth, very advanced. I recommend you to do some reading and look into it on your own, but I will explain the overview of it. So basically we can read right here, the identity runtime protocol links all the cross-chain accounts to make a unique Litentry identity, right? So I'm an individual user, you're an individual user, and you will have one unique Litentry identity that will be able to be used across multiple different blockchains if they do win this Parachain slot, which I hope they do, right? Because I did contribute some DOT myself. So we're talking Avalanche, Solana, Ethereum, any blockchain you can think of, you're going to be able to use your Litentry identity on that blockchain, and all the data is secure in your own hands. Nobody else owns it, no third party. You own it, it's your data. That's the beauty of decentralization and Web 3.0. Whereas before the big conglomerates own everything, now we the people will own everything, which is great, which is very bullish. I'm very bullish on me owning my own data. After the accounts are linked, the Litentry users can trigger the assets claimed via a transaction. The Litentry off-chain worker will query your assets in other blockchain networks and generate asset proofs on-chain. Any DeFi or other dApp can use then this information for their service. Okay, so exactly what we just talked about, cross-chain identity. And we can also read right here for stakeholders. So as a Litentry user, we're going to be able to register with the Litentry network, and then we can get the token incentive if our data is queried by a DeFi or other decentralized application. So our information will be protected with encryption and used in a secure runtime environment. Next up in DeFi, so exactly what we discussed. So with Litentry Identity, users can view their personal information, including their on-chain credit and reputation. So this information can be applied to mortgage rates and credit borrowing in DeFi lending. Right? You're not going to be going to a bank anymore to take out a mortgage if you want to buy a property. You're going to do it all through decentralized applications. Next up, we have decentralized applications. So Litentry users, cross-chain information includes all activities in the whole cryptocurrency world. Litentry is the unique and unified entry point for their service. And also Litentry node runners, so they will earn the block production incentive, aka lit tokens, and they can run off-chain workers for cross-chain asset query service. They will be rewarded if the query results they submit are correct, right? So verifying the network pretty much. So this is big. You're going to have a DeFi credit score for your wallet, so make sure you kind of pay back your loans and don't do anything too sketchy out there. So this credit history can be used in a DeFi application or service for borrowing. By using credit histories of full access to the user's history and their assets, a lending application can lend money with less collateral, exactly what we discussed before, thus reducing the need for the current scenario where extremely over-collateralized loans are given. So this is definitely going to be very useful in the DeFi landscape. Now let's talk a little bit about what the token is actually used for. Okay, so here we are looking at the Litentry light paper, and we can read what the token economics are. First of all, it's going to be used for fee for credit / reputation computation. I'll summarize. As the Litentry network provides a trustless identity credit reputation as a service, each time a user sends a real-time credit computation request to the network, the nodes of the network will consume its network throughput to fetch data from the different sources and use computing power to calculate the credit. For this reason, the Lit token needs to be paid to the network to compensate for the efforts the validator pays. So basically, think of it, every time you go in to buy a car or a house, they run your credit. That is computation power. You're going to have to pay a little bit of Lit tokens for an application to run your credit pretty much. Next up, it rewards for indexed identity databases. So Litentry also encourages third parties to set up indexed identity databases from different networks, which could provide nodes with quick and reliable decentralized identity data. Lit token will also be used as a reward for them. Next up, for staking. So staking for being an identity registrar. For setting up an identity register, some Lit tokens is required as a stake. Identity Register could provide decentralized judgments for users. Once a user gets enough judgments, he will be tagged with certain information like long-term liquidity provider, frequent trader, etc. Next up, for deposits in DeFi. So you're going to be able to use Lit tokens for collateral. We can read right here. For analyze DeFi lending services with identity integrated, Litentry will provide Lit token as one of the deposit currency. And also the deposit will be decreased if use has a high credit score. I think this is meant to say user. And Litentry Foundation will vouch for users who have credit. In the future, users could also set up small DAOs to vouch for its members. So the token does have some use cases. And also, if you decide to stake your identity, which you're going to be able to do, you're going to get rewarded in Lit tokens. So right now, I gave the Facebook example earlier. Facebook uses your identity, all your data. They sell it to third parties. They make a killing doing it. In the future with Litentry, you're going to have the option to stake your identity so that third parties can go ahead and use the data, and you actually get compensated directly for doing so. So that's a game changer right there. Very bullish on Litentry, very bullish on this project. Currently only trading at about $4 with a very low market cap of $120 million. Web3 grant project competing for that Polkadot Parachain Slot. They do have a bit of a community we can read right here, or see right here, 64.8 thousand followers on Twitter. Very active. I recommend you follow them on Twitter if you are interested in keeping up with the community. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the price chart and see what is happening here and see where this may go in the future. So I'll keep my analysis very simple. We're looking at a 1-day price chart, and on the 1 day we can see we do have this yellow dotted line. Now this yellow dotted line marks a support resistance flip on the chart. So we first pumped up at the initial exchange listing on Binance in early February, right? We first pumped up and we went to $18.82 with this wick right here. After that, we retraced all the way back down to about $6 down here where this yellow dotted line is. And we stayed above this level until the market crashed in May, as you can see over here. And now we have bounced off that same $6 level a few times now, right? 1, 2 times, and we have clear ascending price action. So when I see ascending price action like this, it tells me that there are more buyers and less sellers in the market, right? Because if there's more sellers, then the price wouldn't be making lower lows. But we're continually making higher lows, and we are yet to make a higher high here because of this $6 support resistance flip level. So I'm looking out for this breakout. This is a pretty obvious ascending triangle. You guys should know what that is. If you watch my chart pattern video, I'll put a card right here to get yourself familiar with some technical analysis if you were brand new. Nonetheless, we can pull a fib and take it from the all-time high down to the swing low. And we see that the 0.27, the first fib extension is $23.21. From current price, we're talking a gain of 426%. Over a 5x. I think a 5x is definitely possible because that would only put it at about a $600 million market cap, and that would be maybe in just cracking the top 200 in market cap at this moment in time. So this is a low cap gem in my opinion, competing for a Polkadot Parachain Slot, and $23 is just the beginning, right? Remember the tokenomics of this, there are only 100 million total Litentry tokens, and it will be vested over the years, as you can see in this graph over here, up until late 2025. So low token supply compared to a lot of other projects. Very bullish use case if this does catch on, which I do believe it will, right? The fact that you can have ownership of your own identity and data, and if you choose to stake it, you'll still own it, but you can pretty much just lend it out to other protocols and people who need the data, and you get rewarded for it. Very bullish on this. $23 is just the beginning. If we go to the 6.618, that's $130, right? But that is over the years, I do expect. I would be happy with a 5x on my Polkadot Parachain contribution. We'll see what does actually happen. But this is my Litentry technical analysis. What you have to watch for right now is the breakout of this $6 price level. And then I always recommend taking profit on the way up. We do have some key levels, one of them being over here at about $10. And then, of course, the highs at about $13. And then after that, I would say we go into price discovery once we break 18. So bullish times ahead for Polkadot projects. The Polkadot mainnet isn't really officially even launched yet. It will be very soon. So have your eyes on these Polkadot Web3 grant projects. Litentry, very bullish. I'm not sure if I mentioned, they do have their own SDK software development kit for new projects to build on the Litentry network. A lot is going for Litentry. Check it out yourself. Let me know what you think. So Litentry is currently in the process of acquiring a Polkadot Parachain Slot, and they are building a decentralized identity protocol that will allow use for cross-chain DeFi and many other use cases, which we did discuss in this video. I want to hear your thoughts on Litentry. Are you bullish on it? Are you competing in the Parachain auction? Leave a comment down below. And if you did like this video, make sure you let me know by leaving a like. And if you are new to Crypto Empire, go ahead right now and smash that subscribe button down below and turn on all bell notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And my name is Connor from Crypto Empire, and I will see you in the next video.